This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Money Live, and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Welcome to Keith and Lee's Don't Get Me Started. Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Keith.
Well, I can't believe the last time that we spent the whole day in the studio, and today's the day.
Isn't it exciting? You know, we've been doing some background work, business work, plotting certain strategies to move ahead with our burgeoning podcasting and studio enterprise. So, it's been great, Lee. I've enjoyed it.
Oh, virgining, did you say?
Burgeoning. That means ballooning, growing.
I thought you said virgining.
Virgining? The only thing I know...
Is there such a word?
Well, the only thing I know about virgins is they're the airlines.
Well, we have been busy this morning.
Look at my face. Am I smiling? Am I laughing?
No, but I know you want to. We have been busy this morning. We've been doing a few little pitches that Keith and I have got in mind to take the DGMS Studios / DGMS Media to the next level. So hopefully that's what we will accomplish today. It's going to take more than a day, obviously, but we've put this day aside to do our work, and we're doing it well.
Yes, we're getting through quite a bit, actually. It's quite exciting. Personally, I'm not a guy who loves doing a lot of paperwork and administration work and all the detailed stuff, but it's essential, and I always find I put it off. I procrastinate terribly, but I find when I do it and I achieve it correctly, there's great satisfaction in it. Do you find that as well, Lee?
Yes, I do. I'm very similar to you. I don't like paperwork. I've never liked paperwork. My wife takes care of it. She does an excellent job. I don't mind doing it for this because I enjoy this so much. It builds information. It builds us up to be a substantial character.
Oh.
Which is, I think DGMS is a character.
Oh.
Stop.
Jeez.
Do that again. Oh.
No. Not after using that word that we used previously. You're the one who's grinning and smiling now. But the reason I had a little sort of reaction there is that we have to do this because we're building another step so that we can go one or two rungs higher.
Yes, we are. Once we change over our format, it will open up another area for us, which we'll be walking into, not blind, a bit more prepared this time. For me, that is constantly thinking of what the best avenue to go down. I think it's like a cul-de-sac. Mm-hmm. You go down it, and then you have to turn around and come back out to visit another one. And I'm happy to continually do that while I have the enthusiasm to do it. And being who we are and what we dwell in, there's a lot of enthusiasm. We've bounced off one another for so many years now, and now we're doing it in a way which I never thought we would ever this together and to carry it through like we have. We're not young men anymore, Molly, but we're not old men either.
We're mature.
We're mature, man.
But this is interesting. We started off with this little point in our episode today because we have run on enthusiasm for nearly 2 years now, but enthusiasm will only take you so far. You have to come down to having a solid platform to stand on, a clear idea of where you're going, and clear, concrete steps that are achievable so that you can get to where you want to go. So in other words, the nitty-gritty, the details, the paperwork, the planning, the ideas being brought into creation, they have to come into place because that's laying a foundation for us to be able to burgeon and grow and expand, which is what's happening whether we like it or not. So what we are doing is the administration side that really is necessary.
It is necessary, and I'm glad you're here too because you're better at it than me. I like to flick over the top of it.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, you get into it. You get in depth with your writing and the way you want it to present itself, and the words that you use is all being consequential to who you are.
Consequential.
I like that.
Jeez, mate, we're getting into it today.
Where did that come from? Well, we've just had lunch. We haven't had a coffee, and so we've got a full belly. let's get on with the episode.
Well, before we do, I've got a double whammy surprise for you today.
Oh, no.
Because sometimes I pull out an historical fact, which is interesting, and sometimes I have a joke for you.
Have you got both?
I've got both. That's a double whammy.
Okay.
Which one would you like first?
Let's have the joke last.
It may surprise you to know that the very first shot in anger in World War I by the British Empire happened in Australia.
Is that the assassination of somebody? No.
No, the assassination of Franz Ferdinand
That's it.
was in Sarajevo in Serbia.
Right.
And that was by a Serbian nationalist by the name of Gavrilo Princip.
Well done.
That assassination triggered World War I. But the first shot, because essentially that was a local nationalist fight, which drew in the Ottoman Empire and the British Empire, which obviously these days doesn't exist. The first shot, once the British Empire was in that war, which became World War I, was actually shot here in Australia. And it happened like this. There was a German ship called the SS Flats. I don't know how to say it. It's Flats. It's spelled P-F-A-Z.
Right.
Flats. Now, this ship had come into Melbourne and it was restocking because for a long time, a lot of ships from Europe used to come around the bottom of Australia and restock in Melbourne and up into Sydney and all this sort of thing. The German captain and crew, officers, knew that war was highly likely. And so did the Australians. And when the German warship went in there to refuel, they knew they were taking a bit of a chance, but they were cleared to be able to go off into open seas and get away. But before they had an opportunity to do that, they'd actually left the dock and they're heading out through Port Phillip Bay, pretty close to being out into open ocean. So they were on the way to escaping in their mind. And while they were on that movement going out into the ocean, word came through to the authorities in the port that England had now at war with Germany. And so Australia, being part of the British Empire, at that time we were at war too. So they said, don't let that ship go. But it already
Set sail.
had already disembarked or embarked. So they had to stop it. So there's a fort down there on the edge of Port Phillip Bay, and it's called the Nepean Fort, which is one of the many, or about 6 or 7 or 8 forts that Australia has built along the southern and eastern coastline about 100 years before that, in the event that the Russians were going to invade, which they never did. So this fort had never really sent off a shot in anger. So they shot round right across the bow of the German boat and said, stop. And if you don't, the next one will hit you and sink you. So the Germans went, well, it was a pretty good shot. They'll probably get us next time. So they turned around, went back in to port, and they were all arrested. And they were sent to a camp in Berrima, which is in New South Wales. So those guys were lucky and unlucky. They didn't have to go back to Europe and get slaughtered like everybody else. And they spent the lucky because they spent it in a camp. During the war, First World War and the Second World War, if you were an Australian but you had a German name, or your father was German, or one of your parents was born in Germany, or you were born in Germany and your family came out here and you even became an Australian citizen, you were interned in these prison camps. Same if you had a Japanese heritage going back one generation. They'd put you in these camps. So these sailors from that ship had to go into this camp where there was already German and Aussie people. And they just spent the war there having festivals, organising German cultural events and German cooking and socialising, and didn't have to worry about accommodation and food. It was all catered for. They didn't have to go off to the war and get shot and blown up. They just had to sit it out and wait for it to blow over, which took 5 years.
Well, I'm glad I asked this first, so at least we can end on a happy note with the the joke, hopefully, because that's 4.5 minutes. I'll never get back again, Mully.
Well, the joke's only about 10 seconds.
Ah,
You ready for it? A dyslexic walked into a bra.
you said that one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, that's what I thought. See, this is what happens when I don't know what's coming next.
Neither do I.
I
Half
could
the
have said,
time.
you said that one, Mully. Get another one.
I don't know what's coming next half the time myself.
What is coming next, Mully, is our topic. We were talking yesterday about what should we talk about, and we were going to talk about destiny or disaster, and you came out with another one, which ignited me the moment you said it.
Oh, did it?
It did.
Now, our topic that we're going to discuss today is secrets and lies. Now, why did that ignite you? Are you full of them?
Because everybody has them. Everybody's either been told a secret or has told a lie. Or maybe not told a lie to somebody else, but maybe told a lie to themselves. I woke up this morning and I felt great. Oh, look at me. I look 10 years younger.
Isn't that really interesting? When we talk about secrets and lies.
Secrets is another thing that really has got me.
Well, I really think in terms of people who lie or keep secrets, and you reversed it when you said everybody's been lied to or has had a secret involving them. So you're looking at it from outside. I'm looking at it from somebody who's got them inside them.
Well, we've all got a secret, whether it's a secret that we don't want to tell or somebody has told a secret to you. My mother used to say to me, whatever you tell me, Lee Robert, it stays with me. And it did. My mother could hold a secret to the grave. And she probably has held on to a fair few, God bless them. And the other thing is that when they say to me, oh, look, if I tell you a secret, don't tell anyone. I said, well, then don't tell me.
Yeah, don't give it to me. Yeah, why would you? You know, I've got enough stuff going on in my head.
Well, you've got enough secrets, Mully.
Yeah, well, I have, and I keep them. I don't. There's quite a few. Well, not quite a few, but I have.
Yeah, it's a few.
I have some, and I've told nobody, and one which I would not tell too many people to. I've told one other person.
Yeah, well, I think that's normal. There's reasons why you wouldn't say a particular secret to anybody because you know the outcome. Whether it's deep, dark and sinister or it's light, it's really not so much a secret. But if I say it, I'm going to embarrass myself. I think secrets, I love the word secret. It conjures up something amiss or something shady, or wouldn't you want to open up that box and find out what the secret was? Lies, I think everybody lies, like I said, to themselves or to other people, whether it's a white lie or whether it's a blatant lie. We'll get into that later of what a white lie, it's probably okay. But if you lie, it's not okay. What's the difference? Because the white lies doesn't really harm where lies do. I think all lies hurt.
Now, I've got a little story. I have a friend, or had a friend, he's since passed on, God rest his soul, and I loved him dearly. He was just like a brother, like I have that sort of brotherly relationship with you, Lee.
Yeah, I get it.
He, at times, sailed a little bit close to the wind with dodgy deals. He was always on the lookout for a chance to get ahead because he was broke. Anyway, very clever guy, but he was too clever for himself. That's what did him. Anyway, he was mixing with these people who were also clever but had not come unstuck. And so they had scams going. So he thought, well, this is a chance for me to latch on here and I can improve my lot financially. Well, they were a step ahead of him. And when the shit hit the fan, he got thrown under the bus. Next thing you know, he was hauled off into jail. Now, he knew he was going to go to jail, and he came to me with an overnight bag, and it was tight. It was packed to the brim. And he said, look, I'm going to go inside for a couple of weeks, probably a couple of months. He said, the police will come around when they get me and they'll search my flat. He said, I don't want them to find this. He said, can I keep it with you? Now, I knew a little bit more about the background, which I'm not going to reveal here, but I knew that it was pretty serious and that I was implicating myself by looking after his overnight bag that had things in it that he didn't want the police to know.
And you told me this story, and I'm going to ask you the same question again. Did you look into it?
No.
That's incredible.
I didn't, because there's a secret or lie. There's a secret involved there, isn't there? There's something secretive that he doesn't want to fall into the hands of the police. But I didn't want to be privy to the information about what was in there. The bag led the cops to me. Then they'd say, well, what's in there? I'd say, well, I don't know. And I wouldn't have to lie because I didn't know.
Yeah, but they wouldn't believe you like I don't believe you.
But I wasn't tempted. I was curious, but I knew quite a bit about this situation, and I knew a little bit about my friend too. And like I said, he liked some dodgy deals. So in one part of me, I didn't want to know what was in there.
What I've got down here is generally keeping significant secrets and telling lies is harmful.
No.
As they destroy trust, create emotional distance and damage relationships, which they can do.
Yes, but there's two sides to it.
It's all apparent.
Yeah, go on.
While secrets are not always lies, both can cause guilt, shame and mental distress. However, some perspectives suggest minor, intentional lies, i.e. white lies, may be acceptable to avoid unnecessary harm or protect someone's feelings. So that's the white lies, and that's okay because ultimately it's not to harm anybody or it's to protect somebody's feelings.
Oh, well, I reckon that could, I understand that, but that could apply to a big black lie as well.
That's right.
Say, for example, that a man fell in love with a lovely woman. And she was good Catholic background, she'd never said shit for a shilling her whole life, and she was pure as the driven snow, and she was lovely, genuinely a lovely person. But that guy, in 10 years previously, was busted for smuggling drugs in an Asian country.
Yeah.
For example, he's got a little record. It wasn't a serious bust. It was just a little one, right? But he did spend time and he was convicted in an Asian country. Would it benefit his relationship with his lovely, pure wife to tell, she's probably never seen a line of coke or a bloody spiff of marijuana in her life. Would it benefit him, I'm being a bit extreme here, would it benefit her to hear of his past?
It sounds like a Surf Town podcast, really. That reminds me of. But
it reminds me of people I know,
it
actually.
does, mate. I mean, I grew up with a lot of villains, but anyway, you knew where you stood with them. Key impacts of secrets and lies, Keith. Destroys trust. Lying breaks the foundation of relationships and makes trust impossible. So what you were just saying there is that, would it harm her? It doesn't matter whether it's a white lie or black lie. It depends on the individual. So if they felt they'd been lied to, would that break the foundation of their relationship and make trust impossible?
Oh, yes.
Because it can happen depending
absolutely.
on the individual.
Yeah, absolutely. In that case, yes. Definitely.
So the white lie, I don't agree with white lies that, it's okay because it's just protecting somebody or it's I don't want to harm them. Tell them the truth, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes not telling them the truth can build trust. Because that example...
But that's on false pretenses.
Oh, well, whatever it is. But that case I gave, which, I said it's a little bit extreme, but I do know of situations like that. That person, and I've reversed the genders actually, that person who is innocent, for want of a better word, actually trusts the partner because of their history. Their history might be 10 or 8 years in a wonderful, great relationship. And that guy or that woman's completely changed. So that other person, the innocent one, trusts the one that's got the colourful past. So if the character tells the pure one the truth, then she might go, oh, geez, well, you've been such and such in the past. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. It can destroy trust.
Relationship damage. Lies of omission or commission can result in conflict, insecurity, and the breakup of partnerships.
Yes, definitely.
So it's a pretty strong element to lie.
But is it?
Well, this is what we're talking about. Bring it out, Molly.
See, lying that destroys or violates or damages does what you just said. But you can actually tell a lie that protects the other person from a potential situation. So, for example, somebody might say to somebody else, say there's a business partnership, two people, and one partner says to the other one who looks after the books, well, how are the figures looking for the month? Now, the person who's done all the bean counting might know that they're going very close to the wind. And if that one big contract doesn't come through in 1 week, they're in serious trouble financially. Now, that bean counter has to carry the reality and the truth of that and the weight and the responsibility. He may think, well, I'm not going to tell my partner that because he's a chronic worrier and he always looks at things like a black crow and sees the negatives and he goes on about it and he thinks, and I have to deal with that. So the bean counter might think, well, there's a very good chance that contract will come through next week and save us. So I'm just going to tell him, yeah, things are looking really good.
Now,
that's a lie.
Yeah, I would put you down as one of the most honest people I know. And when I asked you a question on something that I would expect an honest answer from, it comes from you. Where a lot of people, I'd say, for instance, oh, hey, Molly, did you watch that? Whatever I sent you last, or did you see that text I sent you? Now, a lot of people go, oh, yeah, because they don't want to upset the other person by thinking, oh, I didn't do that. But you don't, because you go, oh, no. I didn't get around to that. Oh, Molly, did you get that thing I sent through? Oh, no, I haven't had time to have a look. So it's the honesty of it which I like. So I'd rather be told that instead of going, oh, you didn't. Oh, what do you think of it? Oh, not much. And then that's your perception on what you're lying over. So a lie covers another lie. I do that sometimes, the white lie, I used to anyway, with a certain person, and it catches up on me. And then I get into trouble. But the flip side to that is when I do tell the truth, I still get into trouble. I think I've just got one of those faces. Now, the other thing...
now, there's a secret in that too. Now, there's more details in that little story that you just told me, and you're not revealing it in this podcast.
Not. I've been around you too long now.
But you trust me.
So
Thank you very much for those
I do
kind
trust
words.
you. I think everything I ask you, you don't tell me a lie. You may do, but I wouldn't be able to pick it because of what you have said. And the honesty you have has been significant for me to go, I could trust Mully, whatever he says, not a problem. There's a lot of people who I can't trust and I won't trust. But mental health issues, secrets can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and reduced well-being. I don't believe that.
I do.
I don't believe that my secrets that I have, it's full of shame or guilt or a reduced well-being. Mine doesn't fall in that category.
Well, I can see that it doesn't, and I can see that it does. And the reason I said that
So quickly, yeah.
Yeah, because that's why you have beer in pubs and priests in churches. You go to your mates down the pub, have a few beers, and you unload all your secrets. And it's all right, mate.
Yeah, but that's not you, is it? That's the alcohol.
Yeah, no, but it's still a release because your mates will say, "Oh, don't worry about that, mate. You know, I've done that and it worked out all right."
They're half pissed, mate. They're not even listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, but you're still unloading. You're getting it out of your system. You're getting rid of the burden within, right? Now, whether it's the right place or not is not my point. The point is that you are getting it out so it doesn't affect your mental health.
So when you say getting it out, shame, guilt, or reduced well-being, what one or all three?
Probably all three.
All three.
And that's why you have priests to go in and have confession, dump it all on him, and you walk away. You feel better because he gives you absolution and sayings to say, 10 Hail Marys or something. I'm not a Catholic, so I don't know exactly, but I know that you dump what you've done. And he's under a divine oath that he's not allowed to tell anybody. So again, it's the unloading. You could do it with a friend. Say, for example, I stole my neighbour's wife's diamond necklace, and it got to me. I trust you too, Lee. I could go along to you and say, look, mate, this is what I've done. I can unload my burden onto you. It doesn't matter where you unload, but you're unloading. So that means you can get rid of the feeling of burden, of shame or guilt.
Physical effects, constant lying or keeping secrets can lead to stress-related health complaints.
Yep, definitely.
Really?
Yep, definitely. Well, see, two sides to this again. I've got a member of my family who I'm biologically connected to, and I won't give that person a nice description of how I'm connected in the family. Lies, just lies, like through his teeth, like you wouldn't believe. His whole life's been built on them. He doesn't give a rat's bottom. It doesn't affect his mental health, not one little tiny bit.
But you know, or you think you know when people are lying, but you don't know when people have got secrets.
No, you don't. And because if you got a secret, when the topic comes up that's related to your secret, the best thing you can do is just be stone cold silent.
And when they go, I've got a secret, doesn't that create an ambience around you? And you could hear, do, 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 do. What is it? I wonder what it is. And you think, oh, tell me. And you go, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that your secret? You had a currant bun today that you shouldn't have had. Or you had 2 coffees and you feel guilty. That's what I'm saying. With guilt it can lead to shame, guilt, or reduced well-being. Come on. I just couldn't resist having that second coffee. I feel shamed. I feel guilty that I did it. You've got to have a lot more to you as an individual. It must be so heavy on you. Why would you want to carry it around with you if you're going to feel shame, guilt, and a reduced well-being?
Well, I think it's relative, as I said before. It depends on the depth of the secret or the lie. Say, for example, you one of the girls, and you went away for a girls' weekend, and
I know that
the girls are having a good time, and all the Chardonnays and the Pinot Gris are flowing. And anyway, the barman's a good-looking dude, and he's got the eyes on one of the girls.
Well, that's heavy.
Well, that's heavy. Well, you know I'm leading with this, don't you? So she has a weekend shag.
Same as the guy. Like, oh no,
guys do that.
I feel, what am I going to do? Well,
do guys do that on weekends away?
Of course they do.
I didn't know.
If the guy did that or the woman did that, that is shame. That
I know. But what do you do with that secret?
But to actually do that, you can't have been, whether it's alcohol, whether it's I was talked into it, I was fooled.
He was so good looking.
Yeah, like he treated me like a princess or whatever.
Made me feel like a woman.
And it happens, and I'm sorry it happens, and I wouldn't like it happen to me, and I definitely wouldn't like to carry that around. So hopefully that will never happen.
Hopefully. It wasn't a statement that will never happen.
Never happen. Let's get into contextual considerations. White lies. Some argue that while generally honesty is best. Small lies intended to protect feelings, i.e. contemplating a gift you dislike, may be considered harmless. So somebody gives you a book and you go, oh, that's great, that's fantastic. But deep down, you're thinking, I've got it, I never liked it anyway. What am I going to do with it? So I can understand that.
Yeah.
The person who's given it to you thought it'd be a great gift for you and they're excited. You don't want to pee on their fireworks, do you?
No, you don't. Well, white lies, I think everybody does, or if you're wise, you should be doing them because of examples like the one you've just given. It's a kindness to lie. And like I said about the business partners, you say to the worrier, yeah, we'll be right, they're looking good. The less you know sometimes, Lee, the better.
This is one thing where you don't lie.
You're looking at me sideways now, aren't you?
I got you a diary. It's a Dulux diary. I said, oh, there you go, Marley, have that. Oh, yeah, I can use that. I can do that, do this. I said, great. Then you've got it in front of you all the time. Fantastic. And I asked you, I don't know, 6 weeks down the line, I said, hey, Marley, have you put that stuff down in the diary? He goes, oh, no, I didn't do that. Actually, I threw it in the bin. and I laughed. I'm thinking, that's the honesty of it all.
I thought you were going to kill me when I told you.
No, I laughed. I said, yeah, okay, right. I went out my way to get it for you, but it didn't hurt me. That's what I'm saying. So your honesty it made me laugh. See, distinctions can be made between personal privacy and secrets intended to deceive. So their personal privacy is healthy and the secrets intended to deceive is unhealthy.
Absolutely. And that's an entirely different grade. Secrets to deceive. That's when it gets into really bad territory.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
There's no doubt about that.
And the last bit I've got here is harm reduction. The ethical weight of a lie is often determined by the amount of harm it causes. So this is where I'm standing by, where you have to work out whether it's a white lie or it's a lie that you don't want to get involved with. You don't want to get into that conversation. You don't want to get into an argument, but you have to sit with that. And if you found out that you didn't do what you was meant to do after you said you did, and then the repercussions from that is like Mount Vesuvius.
Oh, yes.
A massive explosion.
Yeah.
But there's that fine line again.
Yeah, there's a fine line. And sometimes when you lie, you have to assess where that line is, how it may or may not blow up. There's been a couple of cases in my life where I've decided to lie because if I was exposed, I would have been in a lot of trouble.
I think we all lie, and I think everybody does. Whoever listening would go, they would agree with it or they wouldn't agree with it because it's happened to each and every one of us. But most psychologists and relationship experts suggest that while honesty is generally the best policy, the answer depends heavily on the motive and the impact of the secret or lie, as we have just been saying.
Yes.
We know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's down to us.
I do think I liked that comment you said at the beginning about secrets having that nice sound to it, and
A secret.
Yeah, in a lot of my readings, one of the areas that I really, really am starting to crystallise on in terms of I'm more interested in than some of the other things I've been looking at is the fallout of the impact of the end of World War II upon Europe, what it did to the cities of Germany and the other cities around Europe and the millions of people who were displaced, those who came back from years of imprisonment, all this had to have implications to lives, towns, cities, countries, and the whole continent restarting itself after 7 years of total destruction and unimaginable death. Now, there was a lot of secrets that had to be kept and a lot of secrets that started to come into place because there was still the politics involved and the power struggles involved regarding how they were going to rebuild and get started again. And the classic example, of course, in all of this is the big power struggle that came out of the end of the World War II between the so-called democratic West and the Soviet republics of Russia, and the whole explosion of secrets being almost an industry regarding the Cold War. And it is fascinating, absolutely fascinating, the stories of how they implemented certain things to create deceit towards the other person, so the other side, so they would think this, how spies went out and stole certain secrets from the Soviets to sell to the West and vice versa. The characters, the colourful characters, the men, the women that were involved, the intrigue, who's doing what and why and how. It's fascinating.
Yeah, the Cold War. That's incredible. As we come to the end,
Have we already?
Molly, I know
That was quick.
well, not over yet. So there's 3 questions you should ask yourself before tell a white lie. 1, who does this benefit? Is the lie to protect somebody else's feelings or just to save yourself from a difficult conversation? That's it for me at the end. It's to save myself from a difficult conversation. What about you, Molly?
Yes, sometimes that's very much the case, but then you do have to be careful because sometimes the situation that you're trying to save yourself from, which is difficult, sometimes doesn't go away and that's still there. Case in example, and there's a big case in example at the moment, of course, is the Epstein files. It's full of secrets. Is it going to go away?
Well, it's only secret to you and I because we don't know it, but it's not secret to a lot of people that have actually seen all the files.
But there's people who are lying about it.
Yeah,
like, for example, there's nothing to see here, it's all over. Well, no, it's not.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're lying because they don't want the consequences of that to break upon their head.
Yeah, that's
but
a power struggle.
It's not going away. That difficult situation is not going away. It's going to come back and break upon them pretty soon.
Question 2. Does the other person, this is a good one, does the other person have a right to know?
That is very good. Like I said, sometimes the less you know, the better.
Does this information affect their choices, health or future? That's a good question you need to ask yourself. This is all about lies.
Yep.
Not the secrets, this is about lies. And third, which we're saying now, will this come out eventually? Most secrets are eventually discovered. Telling the truth yourself is often better for your reputation than being caught later. So this is what you were saying about the files, where it's about other people's reputation that they're trying to protect, but it will come out and it will affect them for keeping that secret.
Other people's reputations, or even their own. No, I didn't know him. I didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. Ball dust.
Ball dust indeed. Well, Molly, we could have gone on and on, and I would love to. We always try and keep our podcast to a point where we don't put our listeners asleep. So as always, Keith, I'll leave you the last word.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed this topic and discussion.
It's gone quick.
It has gone quick. I have the impression that we have only spent half our normal time. Nevertheless, I have to trust you because you're the timekeeper, so I'm relying on the fact that you're not lying to me about time.
Always leave them wanting more.
There you go. See, I always thought you were a clever chap. And generous too, because you always give me the last word, don't you?
I do, every time.
And the last word is...
You left me the last word one time. That was funny.
Last word is always be careful about who shoots a shot across your bow.
Who you tell a lie to.
Who you tell a lie to and how you handle your secrets. So until next time, goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Don't Get Me Started with Keith and Lee. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Don't Get Me Started, jump onto our socials, follow us on Instagram at Lethal and Mully, Facebook and LinkedIn. If you would like to be a part of the show, email us on don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. Until next time.